Hey everyone, how's everybody doing tonight? Mark here at Discover Your Home, and tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about pressure washers and what you can use, what you may not want to use, a couple different tips, and just a little bit of FYI for you folks out there. Okay, what we have typically used in our line of work is currently a gas driven, belt driven, or direct drive pressure washer. Usually pressure between 2,500 and 3,500 psi. That is per pounds per square inch. Okay, so that means the amount of force that comes out of that gun, what we like to call the gun. And a lot of times people get they go buy one or rent a pressure washer, and they end up really doing more damage than good. So really, let's talk about some of the things, what you're looking to remove and clean. And really, I find that a pressure washer is really designed to expedite exterior cleaning, to make your job in life a little bit easier. If used properly, a lot of times it can be used with hot water or chemicals. So let's just talk about some of the basics. Let's just say we're knocking around the house on a Saturday, and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to get a pressure washer to clean the outside of my house, and what do I need to do to make this happen? Well, you can obviously go buy or rent one. They've got gas-driven models. We also have electric-driven models. So the electric-driven ones are much smaller, not as much pressure, which is fine to clean the garage floor if you're going to do that. So let's just say we're working on the outside of the house, and you've just got some dirt just kind of clinging to the eaves and the soffits and the siding and stuff. I'm going to recommend 2,500 psi, using the correct tip on it, usually like a 25 or 40 degree angle tip. You don't want a 0 degree tip because it's that will could cut a hole in your siding or leave a hole in the siding. It's the degrees kind of define the pattern of the water coming out. So 0 is very narrow and comes out really sharp. 25, 45 to 40 degree, it's a wider fan. It's not as much pressure. It's spread out a little bit. So I generally use, as far as colored tips, I think the green and the white are the two that I use most, and I think those are 25 and 40 degree tips. I don't know that off the top of my head. I'll get back with you on that. So that's just, hey, get a chemical injector, put it in your or chemical or cleaner, and put it in your cleaner. Set it in there. It flows through the tip of the gun. Squeeze it on, saturate your surface, and then come back and pressure wash. There again, I'm going to recommend go ahead and using goggles or safety glasses. If your ears are sensitive, you would be surprised on how high of a decibel level that the pressure washer gives off when you're cleaning. So you might want to put some earplugs in just for safety purposes. Okay. And you're staying anywhere from 12 to 18 inches off the siding, working in a very even and methodical pattern. Keep it real simple. Now, if you've got something a little bit tougher, what you may have to do is get up there and agitate it with some sort of scrubbing motion, depending upon the cleaner. A lot of times you're going to find like mildew stains that are on gutters that you'll see kind of these black spots. You're going to have to probably get up there and agitate that with a cleaner and a scrub brush, then just rinse it off. A lot of times a pressure washer is really good just for kind of rinsing off the outside of your home, or there again, cleaning your driveway, blowing off excess dirt off the sidewalk, or you're cleaning potentially, say your paver patio. There again, you don't want to get too close. You definitely you want to find what's going to work best for each situation. I usually find a lot of the pressure washers today have a dial pressure system, so you can dial it up and dial it down. I always recommend dialing it down first and then kind of working your way up, as opposed to high to low and you've done some damage. Always keep the gun moving. I would highly suggest don't keep it in one spot for a long time because it will cut, tear, shred, however you want to define it, or leave an impression in something you don't want an impression left upon. Gas engines versus 110 volt units, really, the big difference is how much water is one going to push versus the other. Gas-driven pressure washers just give out more, and the models go up way high. You can find some with heating attachments. Usually, you're going to find things like that where it's a little heavier stain or grease or situations like that. You're going to probably need a much more either stronger chemical or cleaner or stronger pressure washer, and that might be somewhere where you're looking to hire out. But if you're just, there again, if you're just knocking around the house, you want to keep a model. I personally like the gas-driven models. I think they're better. I've seen some of the electric ones. You could almost use your garden hose for the same thing. You're honestly, they're okay. I find that in what we've used, the gas-driven models seem to be, and you can get them very reasonable as far as size and weight. Their weight used to be incredibly, 200-pound machines, on steel frames. Now we're seeing a lot of them on aluminum frames. All the materials are a little bit lighter. And as you use your pressure washer, over time, that rating will go down. So if it's rated for 2,500 psi, when you get it on that first day, that's about as high as it's going to get. And then as it ages and the compression starts to go down, and it works its way down over time. But that takes quite a bit of time. What's a good time to do it, and when's a good time to rent one, and when's a good time to hire a professional? A lot of times we have to do a little bit of pressure washing when we get up on a ladder, and it can be a little precarious. So if you're not comfortable with one or the other, I would say get a professional to do it. I would say keep your feet on Mother Earth and do your cleaning from where you can get. Now here's a little thing you could go and do is either rent or purchase a wand, a telescoping pole. They reach up to, I think, 8 to 16 feet, so they're great combination. If you don't like ladders, a lot of times you can get a typical 2-story home pretty good with a telescoping pole. That's going to cost you a little bit of money. It's a little more professional grade, which is nice. So, really, when you don't feel comfortable using it, if you're looking to, I find that most people have them if they're looking to clean the garage out, clean the driveway or the patio, or even just do a little bit of cleaning around the house on the outside. If I'm gonna have a professional, that somebody's gonna do high ladder work, somebody's gonna have to get some tougher stains out, or they're gonna pressure wash prior to paint. Any grime or grease stains, you're gonna probably, like if you've got oil stains in your driveway, that might require something with a little bit more heavy-duty power, or possibly hot water solution, which works real well. If you're a homeowner and you're doing it on your own, keep it simple. It's dust, it's mud, hey, I'll tell you what, it's a great thing to use to clean the outside of your car. Be able to take a nice soft scrub brush and then come back and rinse it down. Does a great job. And I would say keep it simple and something that you can handle. So we'll go from there. Okay? So thanks again for joining me. I'm Mark here at Discover Your Home, and have yourself a great evening. Thanks again.